That's everything there. And now we will valiantly attempt. One last thing doesn't work. Let's see if I can make it work. Everything's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be at any given time. All right. And here we are. Holy cow. Okay. Hi. The last show of the year. This year, this will be the 33rd show, which doesn't really equate to what I was trying to do, which was doing about one a week. But this year was bonkers. So very bonkers. This year, the first 3 months were a profoundly chaotic situation with the day job, which I will not go into right now, but it was bonkers enough that it was just hard. And then we had April, which was Sherwood, and we just carry on. So, welcome to the last show. Those of you watching at home, those of you watching in reruns, because I am big in syndication. We will be doing a Big McLargeHuge New Year's Day Survivors show. 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and God only knows what Mountain Time looks like. So we'll be doing that, and it'll probably be an hour or two. Closer to what you kids like to think of as actual streaming as opposed to the weird nonsense I do here. But I am doing the weird nonsense here, and this is just about caught up, so Facebook should now be showing it with the legendary 2-minute delay. So if there's anybody out there, please let me know. I will always be happy to know that there's somebody out there listening to this nonsense. Oh, nonsense. Such lovely nonsense. Tuning. You know, so we just got back from a long drive out to Phoenix to see family, and then a long drive back. 14 hours each way with an hour break for dinner here and there, for meals here and there, and of course, the inevitable bathroom breaks and changing drivers things. Driving out of Texas is okay, because although El Paso is an 8-hour drive from here, yes, Texas is an 8-hour drive from Texas, it's daylight. You can see things. There's plenty of scenery, and the desert is really quite beautiful. And then you hit El Paso and have a late lunch, reminding yourself that the clocks jump back an hour because El Paso is on Mountain Time as opposed to actual Central Time, like the rest of the state of Texas. And then it's about 6 hours from El Paso through New Mexico into Arizona to where we went. Now, driving back is a little different, because when you're driving back, it's morning and you're in Arizona. And it takes about 3 hours to get through Arizona and through New Mexico to El Paso. No, it takes about 5 hours to get through New Mexico and to El Paso. And then you've got a late lunch, and then it's driving forever in the godforsaken National Wilderness National Park. And there's not a great deal in El Paso going back the other way, and you're also tired. And you talked all the way from, going the other way. And it gets dark. And when it gets dark in Texas and you're on Interstate 10, there's nothing to see. They don't light the roads. They barely light the exits. It's just you and the road. And that's why we kept the GPS on. We kept Google Maps going just so we could keep an eye out on how long it would take us to get home. And we had the landmarks. Hey, it's 4 hours till home. Yay. Hey, 3 hours till home. Yay. 2 hours till home. Yay. 1 hour. Hey, I recognize these roads. Hey, we're back in our hometown. And we got home just before midnight, unloaded everything out of the van, and fell the heck over. But it was fun. And we will probably be flying the next time we do that. Also because we're now in our mid-50s and we're tired. New Braunfels Renaissance Festival was a lot of fun. I heartily recommend checking it out next year. They're going to do it next year. They better do it next year. They had 15,000 people through the gates. Oh my gosh. For a first time Renaissance Festival. That is preposterous numbers. It's absolutely fantastic. Hey there. Thank you for justifying this activity by being here. I do have a brand new song that I wrote, and I started to write it on the drive back because I was lamenting over the fact that I couldn't get the creative engine going. This year I've not created as many songs as I did in the years past, and a lot of that was because my brain was being taken up by other stuff. But I got to thinking about it, and I realized that I need to increase the number of geeky, nerdy, goofy songs with a focus on the geeky songs. Because I got plenty of songs about Ren Fair. I've got a few songs about various fandoms. But I am, at heart, a giant nerd. And I realized that the phrase 10 foot, just like the song Trebuchet, came into my mind because I could sing the word trebuchet to the tune of Yesterday. And The Man Who Lives at Fair from The Man Who Sold the World, which I have not done very often. I'll probably do that on Monday. Well, I came to the realization that one of the most ubiquitous items in all tabletop role-playing games, and if you're old school, you know why this is so hilarious, the 10-foot pole would fit into a song written and performed by Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show in the 1970s. And I remember hearing that song on the radio because I am that old. Yes, really. And so, without much more ado, and with deep apologies to any member of Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show who just happened to catch this, forwarded to them, or even catch it live, hi. I'll now inflict upon you the song that got stuck in my head. The big challenge here is that there is, in fact, E chords way up there. And then we go. Well, I'm a dungeon delver, I'm a well-equipped feller, and I carry all my stuff on my back. I got a bunch of potions and some anti-itch lotions and a sack for holding all of my sacks. I got spikes and caltrops and cast iron doors, stops, iron ratchets, got a dozen or so. But the item that'll thrill them and will help me beat the villains is my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole, gonna use the traps down in the dungeon. Pole, gonna use it as a long wiggly bludgeon. Pole, gonna clean this ruin out with my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. I got got bandages and rags and a rolled up sleeping bag so I don't have to pass out on the floor. I got lockpicks and oil that'll help reduce the toil if I have to jimmy open a door. I got 50 feet of rope and I seriously do hope I never find a 57-foot hole. But the atom that'll thrill me and ravines ain't gonna kill me with my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole gonna keep my party out of danger. Pole gonna buy 2 more just for my ranger. Pole gonna vault up the ranks with my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. Now the funny part about this, if you think about it, old school A&D. A 10-foot pole was like 2 coppers. A 10-foot ladder was 1 copper. So you could take a 10-foot ladder, split it up. You'd get 2 10-foot poles and a bunch of sticks. Sell them at a profit. 10-foot pole gonna follow traps down in the dungeon. Pole gonna use it as a long wiggly bludgeon. Pole gonna clean this ruin out with my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole gonna keep my party out of danger. Pole gonna buy 2 more just for my ranger. Pole gonna vault on up the ranks with my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. With my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. With my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. I don't know how I get in the bag. With my handy-dandy 10-foot pole. I am going to be chased out of a building for that song. I'm almost certain of it. Hey! How old, Ben? I got emotional trauma older than you, Benny boy. But you have better hair. Benjamin has better hair than I do. Oh, dear God, yes. Definitely better hair. Hey, Chelsea, I am very happy to have... thank you for seeing me at New Braunfels. I'm very happy to have been able to do it. It's, I was not going to be at all afraid to come out there because it was literally 20 minutes from my house. Which, if you have ever traveled 3 hours to go to a Renaissance Festival, you know it's much happier, much better to be able to just get in the car, go, and then come back. Especially if you're somebody who forgets things. If you're somebody who forgets things, it makes it much easier. You feel a lot better about your whole world. I realized I hadn't played certain songs I have not played for a while. And so I have loaded up this set of 4 songs with songs that I have not played for a while, as well as, of course, 10-Foot Pole, which I still think is a great song. That one, I think that's about as much song as will support the joke, but, it could get crazier. Could turn into Friends from Fair stuff, where it just kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger till it threatens to collapse under its own weight. Now, the next song I'm going to do is one of the ones that started this whole mess. Honestly, if I had not written this song and performed it on like the first 2 live streams I ever did, and people reacted with surprising acceptance and glee, I would not be doing this now. 4 years, 5 years? 4 or 5 years and 315 of these shows later. And it is, of course, dedicated to my friend who told me that they felt that they were not a human being, but in fact 3 possums in a trench coat. And if 3 possums in a trench coat is funny, 6 possums in a trench coat is hilarious. And it turned into, find the E chord, this. Possums in a trench coat come to tea. Sit right at a table like you and me. Do they want another biscuit? Better give them 3, 'cause they're not really a gathered 6 possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat go to town. Got themselves an Uber, couldn't flag it down. The driver wouldn't stop, no, he just kept on going 'cause he didn't want to drive 6 possums in a trench coat. Marsupial discrimination, very sad. Possums in a trench coat see a show. Do you give them just one seat or the entire front row? Do the possums in the middle just peek out through the buttons? Man, I got so many questions for 6 possums in a trench coat. Bridge! Bong. Possums in a trench coat on a date. Got there 20 minutes early, couldn't stand to be late. Everything turned out to go much better than expected, because their date turned out to be 6 possums in a caftan. Happy ending. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. 6 possums in a caftan. I still love that, and I still love the fact that Mel drew this incredible sketch for me, this incredible doodle of 6 possums in a trench coat, coming from the top and working our way down. Gwendolyn, then we have Baba Roberto, then we have... I cannot read my own writing anymore. I literally cannot read it. This is so hilarious. Hang on. I'm old. I'm old. I'm old. We have Baba Roberto. Then we have... I can't even read it. Sophia. Then we have... I can't even read them anymore. Anyway, you can read them if you can. We actually went through a whole thing of naming all the possums, too, which is great. That's a little bit of weird lore that just kind of accreted over the years as I do this doopy little show. But it ends with Hatchback. Hatchback, who was, in fact, safely relocated to another place as instead of being in the bird household kitchen. So that's something there. The next song I'm going to do will destroy my hands. So I'm going to resort to using a pick and catching my watch on... Let me see here. Are we still tuned? I promise you, this thing... My instruments will spontaneously detune in protest. Partially because I do not trust them. I do not treat them with any kind of actual respect. The next song that I'm going to do was suggested to me by K. Stryker. And it's from the marvelous Cat's Cafe webcomic. If you're looking for a soft, fuzzy, comfortable, warm blanket of a webcomic, Cat's Cafe is definitely one for you. And this one came after Platypus Postman, which is another one of those goofy songs that I did. But this one is this one right here, Kaiju Coffee. I looked this up on the interwebs. There's exactly one coffee shop out there, and only one, in Nigeria, going by Kaiju Coffee. And you would think that somebody else would do it. One of the things I love about this is that this was written during my 1970s kind of rock phase when I started writing all kinds of weird songs, which is one of the reasons why I'm really happy with 10-Foot Pole, because that goes right back to my 1970s kick. But this is Kaiju Coffee, and it makes use of a ukulele technique known as chunking, because clearly making notes come out of this thing is not enough. No, we must use it as a rhythm instrument as well. And if you lightly fluff the strings with your hands and just press on that, you can go... And that makes a chunking noise. Well, you gotta work with what you got. Anyway, Kaiju Coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju Coffee helps them not fall asleep from the depth of the sea to the city downtown. Kaiju gotta get up and start roaming around. But that decade funk slumber is real hard to shake off. What they need is a gallon of that bubbly back stuff. Kaiju Coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju Coffee helps them not fall asleep. Just because you're a giant don't mean that you don't have needs. Sometimes some liquid ambition helps you perform great deeds. You gotta level the city first thing in the AM. You need a tanker-sized latte, get you going again. Kaiju Kerchunka, Kaiju Coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju Kerchunka, Kaiju coffee helps I'm not falling asleep. Nothing. Kaiju coffee rising up from the deep. Kaiju coffee helps I'm not falling asleep. Giant robot teeth you, and man, a kaiju does you. You gotta have a big joke from 10 gallons of brew. Kaiju cannot breathe fire if the stove is not lit. Chuck on a macchiato and that flame will not quit. Kaiju coffee rising up from the deep. Kaiju coffee helps them not fall asleep. Kaiju blackout pyro. I have no special effects budget, but that's what would happen if I actually did that in a real show and I had a special effects budget. I don't think I will ever actually have a special effects budget, but by golly, if I did, that's how that would be like. That would be the song we use to end the show before we pretend to come back and do an encore set. Or we'd end it like if we were doing like an actual show, a long one with a break in the middle, an actual band, which one day, if I do have a band, the band will be called The Valiant Attempt. This would be the one we do at the break, right there. So yeah, I have terrified everyone. See, I can never actually tell how many people are watching this thing because there is a counter that I see up there relative to where I am. If I'm pointing at the screen as I see it, it's over here. But, you know, for as far as y'all are concerned, it's over here. And it does not keep accurate count of how many people are actually watching my show right now. It's trying to keep track of the people who are watching on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Streamlabs. And I have no clue. The only time I actually know if there's people is if you comment over here. Because if you comment over here, then I know there's a live human being actually watching this thing. I can go back and I can see who might have watched it, either live or in replays. But it's still kind of a crapshoot still. I mean, honestly, it is. It's just one of those weird things, I tell you. And now, my friends, we have come to the last song I will play on a live stream in 2023. Ooh. I thought about what song I wanted to play. And I've played Songs of the Bard, and that's what I use to end my shows. And it's really kind of like that's my summary. You did make the 4-hour drive. Just good grief. I mean, thank you, but also, wow, okay. Now, granted, I used to do 4 hours to Scarborough every weekend when I was doing Scarby, so I understand that. And some of y'all are much more robust about driving than I am now. Now I am older and, creakier. Yeah, you're also seeing the delay factor here because Facebook delays everything that we do by about 2 minutes, which is weird. Tip this over the edge and going, I was a convincing factor. Holy crap. That is so absolutely bewildering and makes me feel really good. Makes me feel like I'm like doing something that's like fun. So the song I'm going to play for the last song on the set and the last song this year. And I'm also going to check to make sure that, yes, okay. We have people coming to the store. Yep, all right, just come to the damn door and drop off a food. That had to be Jason. Okay, we'll see if we get food. I mean, it could be... fortunately, all that we're ordering is stuff that's easily reheatable because we played this game before. So I decided that this one would be a little bit lighter and in keeping with the generally crazy nature of what I do. I would dedicate this song to two of my friends who have encouraged my creativity in different ways over the many years. Michael Van Slyke, the man who made Payback, which you can see behind my shoulder over here. That's Payback. A cigar box ukulele that I traded him for a hotel room for a convention. And my friend Michael Hyde, yes, it's a two-Michael environment, also known as Bubba, who is somewhere I think, in East Asia right now, but may catch this anyway, who encouraged me to unleash the goofiness during my years in California. Both of whom, by the way, are evil overlords, or at least evil overlords. They're working their way towards it, you see. So, yeah. Really comes to you. Don't want run things, but my friend can. They've got charisma, they've got the plan. My body's got the means, and by them I'll stand. When it comes to world domination, I'm their biggest fan. Well, I just can't wait to watch their plans unfurl. Help my friend take over the world. Pause. The actual title. World's a tricky place, so much to solve. My friend will let the challenge, well, they're resolved. They're gonna need some help to implement their plan, and I'll be quite happy to be their right-hand man, you know. Not second in command or third. Fourth or fifth. Administration. Someone's got to do the paperwork, right? Well, I just can't wait to watch their plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. World's a tricky place, so much to solve. Hey, now I did that one. Last chorus. Last verse, I promise. Now, they're not evil, don't get me wrong. They're intense moral, their ethics strong. They're simply gonna guide us to a better land. You'll barely notice the firm yet gentle hand. Well, I just can't wait to watch my plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. Hang on. That's it, there or mine? I'll check. Well, I just can't wait to watch my plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. I said mine, didn't I? Oh well. Might as well own it. Well, I just can't wait to watch my plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. All good things must come to an end, and while this may not qualify, that is the last song in this set for this week, for this month, for this year. The year of something 2023. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Without you here, this would be much harder to justify. The usual stuff. PayPal.me/TheAdequate. Venmo's @TheAdequate. Cash app is $TheAdequate. My website is TheAdequate.com. For Patreon, you go to patreon.com/TheAdequate. Carpe Diem Comics is, of course, the official emotional support comic shop of the Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show and all its many, many, many weird activities. Let me think here. I want to thank all the Patreon peeps who've been hung out with me past, present, and future. Current list is Rob, Alex, Brian, Lorene, Relly, Kaylee, BK, Teppo, Isaac, Joe, Jen, Kay, and Tim. In no particular order. You can support adequacy in our lifetime by going to patreon.com/theadequate, or you can throw a penny in the bucket any other place. And apparently now, Facebook has stars, and you can give me stars. I don't know what they do. I have no idea. Maybe it's like equity. You know, when you get a house, you're supposed to have equity. I don't know what equity looks like. I think you keep it in a box. It's protected by a big bird called an escrow. If you got that joke, you're in your 40s. Yeah, I think that's probably it for me right now. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Be safe, be sane, be silly. Fight fire with marshmallows. They never expect it. And, you know, you have a snack. Or a flaming marshmallow you can throw at somebody if you need to, which is also good. Thank you, Chelsea. I appreciate this greatly. It was so good seeing you out there. And so good seeing you folks on here. Y'all have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate. And for the last time this year, thank you all for encouraging my behavior. I will be back here on Monday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and I have no idea. I think it's 1 p.m. everywhere, including Arizona right now. Holy crap, Arizona's actually in synchronization with the rest of the Mountain Time Zone. Thank you all for encouraging my behavior.